This lesson is our primer lesson on modes, our modalizing a major scale. Now, if you don't know what a major scale is, or you haven't done a major scale lesson, my major scale lesson, go back and do that first. You really need to know what the construction of a major scale is before you do any of this stuff. It just won't make any sense. But we're going to do everything in C major, just so we're playing all natural notes. Every note within this major scale can be the starting point for a new scale, or a mode. The first mode, which is just the major scale, is called Ionian. These all have kind of Greek names. Ionian basically just playing that major scale, right? And the whole step and half step pattern that gives the scale its sound is the one for the major scale. Whole step, half step, whole step, half step. The second note here is going to give us a Dorian mode, D Dorian. Right. So what we're doing is we're starting on D using that as the root, and then the arrangement of whole steps and half steps that we get using all the notes in C major gives us a different scale sound, a little bit more minor-y. So with the Dorian, we're going whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step. The half steps here in Dorian are between the second and third notes and the sixth and seventh notes. The third mode of a major scale is Phrygian. Starting on the E and using all the notes in C major, we're going half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. Our half steps are between the first and second notes and the fifth and sixth notes. The Dorian and the Phrygian modes are minor sounds. We're also going to have Aeolian, which will be based off the sixth. That'll also be minor. And then you're going to have Lydian, which is our next one that we're doing, and Ionian, which are the major scales that we can derive from this. And then the fifth one will be a dominant sound, which will be mixed Lydian, and then Locrian is kind of a half diminished sound. So starting on the fourth note, we have this from F. We're going to have whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. That's kind of the difference between this and a regular major scale. And then whole step, half step. So the half steps are going to be between the 4 and 5, which is going to be the sharp 4 to 5, and then the 7 and 8. So that's the Lydian. Mixolydian is the dominant scale that we're going to get out of everything. Dominant meaning 7th chord. Like if I said G7, right, this is going to be the one scale that'll have all the notes that'll work over it. It's the one. It's like a major scale, but it's got a minor 7th. That's basically it. Now, starting here on G and going up to the next G within the C major scale, we get whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step. So what you have there is half steps between the third and fourth notes, and then the sixth and minor 7th, right? And that gives us our dominant sound. The sixth mode is actually what we call our minor scale, or natural minor, or Aeolian. It has all these names. Basically, it's just our regular old minor scale. Starting on A and playing all the notes in C, we're going to go whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. So your half steps in the Aeolian mode are going to be between the second and third notes and the fifth and sixth notes. And then the last mode, the 7th mode out of all of this, is what we call Locrian, and that's starting on the 7th note. This is a half diminished scale, basically. What we have is we have a minor third, a flat 5, and a minor 7th. If it was a fully diminished, everything would be minor thirds apart, and something else that we'll get into a little bit later on. But basically, starting on B, we're going to be going half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. So your half steps in Locrian are going to be between 1 and 2, and 4, and the flat 5. So those are the 7 modes. The mode number 1 is Ionian, which is also just your parent major scale. Mode number 2 is Dorian. Dorian is a minor scale. Mode number 3 is Phrygian, which is also a minor scale. Mode number 4 is Lydian. That's the other major scale we're going to get at. It's like a major scale, but the 4th note is raised half step from the major scale. Mode number 5 is Mixolydian, which is a dominant scale sound. Mode number 6 is Aeolian, which is basically just your regular minor scale or natural minor scale. And then mode number 7 is Locrian. Now, that's basically just the order of the modes and where their whole steps and half steps are. That's really not any information at all, as much as I just talked. Each one of those modes gives us a sound, and we're going to have a series of lessons where we're going to explore each of those sounds and actually get what each of those modes is supposed to do. One thing to think about is that we did all of these modes off of C major. Alright, so in C major we had the D Dorian, E Phrygian, all that stuff. But also off of C, we can do all of these parallel with the C. So we have the C major. We can have C Dorian. We can have C Phrygian. We have C Lydian. We have C Mixolydian. We have C Aeolian. And then we can also have C Locrian. Right? We're gonna, like I said, there's 2 or 3 of the ones that I tend to use all the time and find the most useful. It depends on what style of music you play, what your applications are going to be. It's really good to use each of these modes or to understand how to use them because they give you a lot of tools in your toolbox. If I'm playing over a minor chord, like a D minor, now I have options. I can play, like say I've got an A minor chord going on. If I want to, I can play a natural minor. I can play a Dorian, which is one of my more favorite sounds. Or I can play the Phrygian. I can use all of these as different colors over the one chord if it's kind of static. We'll talk about applications probably starting in the next lesson.